Isaiah 22, a prophecy concerning the valley of vision. What happened to you now that you have all gone up to the roofs? You who had been full of commotion, a tumultuous city, an exuberant town. Your slain are not slain by the sword, nor did they die in war. All of your officers wandered off together, but were confined by the bow. All those found within you were confined together, as well as those who had fled from afar. I said, therefore, leave me alone. I will weep bitterly. Do not insist on comforting me for the calamity of my people. For it is a day of breaking and trampling and confusion unto my Lord, Hashem, Elohim, Master of legions, in the valley of vision, of breaching the wall and of crying out upon the mountain. Elam has taken up its quiver with chariots of men and horsemen, and to the wall they attach their shields. The choicest of your valleys became filled with chariots, and horsemen positioned themselves at the gate. He uncovered the shelter of Judah, but on that day you looked to the armaments in the house of the forest. You saw that the breaches of the city of David were numerous, so you collected the waters of the lower pool. You counted the houses of Jerusalem, and you demolished the houses to reinforce the wall. You made a moat between the two walls with the water of the old pool. But you did not look toward the one who made this happen, and you did not consider the one who formed it long ago. My Lord Hashem, Elohim, Master of legions, declared that day to be for crying and eulogy, for baldness, and for the donning of sackcloth. Yet, behold, there is joy and gladness, slaying of cattle and slaughtering of sheep, eating meat and drinking wine, saying, eat and drink, for tomorrow we die. This became revealed in my ears, I, Hashem, Master of legions, that this sin will never be atoned for until you die, said my Lord Hashem Elohim, Master of legions. Thus said my Lord Hashem Elohim, Master of legions, go and approach that treasurer, Shebna, who is in charge of the house. Tell him, what have you here and whom have you here that you have hewn yourself a grave here? You who digs his grave on high and carves out in the rock an abode for himself. Behold, Hashem will throw you around with great force and cause you to fly away. He will wind you around like a turban and hurl you like a ball to a land without obstacles. There you will die, and there your chariots of honor will suffer the disgrace you wished upon your master's house. I will oust you from your position, and he will bring you down from your post. It shall be on that day that I will call upon my servant, upon Eliakim, son of Hilkiah. I will dress him with your tunic, and gird him with your belt, and I will deliver your dominion into his hand. And he will be a father to the inhabitants of Jerusalem and to the house of Judah. And I will place the key of the house of David on his shoulder, and he will open, and no one will close. And he will close, and no one will open. I will affix him as a peg in a secure place, and he will be like a throne of honor for his father's house. They will hang upon him the entire honor of his father's house, the sons and the daughters, every small article, from various bowls to all kinds of stringed instruments. On that day, the word of Hashem, Master of legions, the peg of Shebna that is affixed in a secure place will move away, and the load that is upon it will be plucked off and fall and be destroyed. For Hashem has spoken. Isaiah 23, a prophecy concerning Tyre. Wail, O ships of Tarshish, for Tyre has been sacked from within, preventing entry. From the land of Kittim has the invader been revealed to them. Fall silent, you island dwellers, for the seafaring merchants of Sidon used to fill you. Through many waters came the seed of the Nile, the harvest of the river as her produce. She was the marketplace for all the nations. Be ashamed, O Sidon, for the sea has spoken, the fortress on the sea, saying, I have not gone into labor, and I have not given birth. nor have I raised youths or reared maidens. When the news reaches Egypt, they will tremble, as when Tyre heard the news. Move on to Tarshish. Wail, O dwellers of the island. Is this your joyous city, O exalted one, whose origins were in ancient days, but whose legs lead her to dwell far away? Who devised this against Tyre, the magnificent, whose merchants were princes and whose traders were the elite of the land? Hashem, master of legions, devised it, to defile pride in every delight, to suppress all the elite of the land. Pass away from your land like a flowing river, O daughter of Tarshish. You have no more power. God stretched out his hand over the sea. He incited kingdoms. Hashem has issued a command against Canaan to destroy its source of strength. He said, exult no longer, O oppressed virgin of Sidon. Get up and cross over to Kittim. But even there will be no rest for you. Behold, this is the land of the Chaldeans. For this nation never used to be here. Assyria founded it for its fleets. They erected its towers. Now they destroyed its palaces. It has been made a ruin. Wail, O ships of Tarshish, for your source of strength has been sacked. It shall be on that day that Tyre will be forgotten for 70 years, like the lifetime of a unique king. At the end of 70 years, there will be for Tyre something like the song of the harlot. Take a harp and encircle the city, O forgotten harlot. Play well, sing a lot, so that you may be remembered. And it shall be at the end of 70 years that Hashem will remember Tyre, and she will resume her harlot's hire, and she will engage in harlotry with all the kingdoms of the land on the face of the earth. And her merchandise and harlot's wages will one day become holy to Hashem. It shall not be stored nor accumulated, for her merchandise will belong to those who sit before Hashem, to eat and be sated, and for elegant clothing. Isaiah 24. Behold, Hashem is emptying the land and destroying it. He will distort its appearance and scatter its inhabitants. As with the people, so with the priest. As with the slave, so with his master. As with the maid servant, so with her mistress. As with the buyer, so with the seller. As with the lender, so with the borrower. As with the creditor, so with the one who owes him. The land will be utterly emptied and utterly despoiled, for Hashem has spoken this word. The land will become desolate and withered. The world will be wretched and withered. The exalted of the people of the land will be wretched. The land will be unfaithful because of its inhabitants, for they have transgressed teachings and have violated laws. They have abrogated the everlasting covenant. Because of false oath, the land is consumed, and those who inhabit it have become decimated. Therefore, the inhabitants of the land have become parched, and few people remain. The grapes are desolate, the vine is forlorn. All glad-hearted people groan. Rejoicing with timbrels has ceased. The noise of revelers has stopped. The joy of the harp has ceased. They will not drink wine with song. Liquor has become bitter to those who drink it. The desolate city has been broken. Every house has been closed against entry. There was crying for wine in the streets. All gladness is darkened. The joy of the land has been exiled. Desolation has remained in the city, and the gate is stricken with desertion. For thus shall it be in the midst of the land, among the nations, as after the beating of an olive tree, like solitary grapes when the harvest is over. They will yet raise their voice. They will shout over the greatness of Hashem. They will shout with greater joy than at the sea of reeds. Therefore, honor Hashem for the lights. In the islands of the sea, honor the name of Hashem, the God of Israel. From the edge of the earth we have heard songs, glory for the righteous. But I say, my lot is to waste away. My lot is to waste away. Woe is me! The treacherous have dealt with treachery. With the treachery of the treacherous have they dealt treacherously. Fear and pitfall and snare will be upon you, O inhabitant of the land. It shall be that whoever flees the sound of the fear will fall into the pit, and whoever rises from within the pit will be trapped in the snare. 4 windows will be opened from above, and the foundations of the earth will quake. Broken, broken will be the land. Crumbled, crumbled will be the land. Trembling, trembling will be the land. Tottering, the land will totter like a drunkard and sway like a booth, and its sins will weigh heavily upon it, and it will fall, never to rise again. It shall be on that day that Hashem will deal with the hosts of heaven in heaven, and with the kings of the earth on the earth. They will be gathered together in a gathering, a captive in a dungeon, and they will be imprisoned in a prison. And after many days they will be remembered. The moon will be humiliated, and the sun will be ashamed. For Hashem, master of legions, will have reigned in Mount Zion and in Jerusalem, and there will be honor for his elders. Isaiah 25. Hashem, you are my God. I will exalt you. I will give thanks to your name, for you have done wondrously. Your plans from the distant past were kept with firm faithfulness. For you have made the oppressor's city into a heap, his fortified town into a ruin, the palace of foreigners removed from each city, not to be rebuilt. Therefore, even a strong people will honor you. The city of mighty nations will fear you. For you were a stronghold for the meek, a stronghold for the destitute when he was in distress, a shelter from downpour, a shade from the scorching heat, when the fury of the mighty was like a downpour against a wall, like a scorching heat in the wasteland. You will diminish the tumult of the foreigners, like a scorching heat that is shaded by a cloud. So the breaking of the mighty will humble them. Hashem, master of legions, will make for all the nations on this mountain a feast of fats, a feast of lees, rich fats and concentrated lees. On this mountain he will eliminate the covering that covers all the peoples, and the mask that he had masked all the nations. He will eliminate death forever. And my Lord, Hashem Elohim, will erase tears from all faces. He will remove the shame of his nation from upon the entire earth, for Hashem has spoken. And it will say on that day, behold, this is our God. We hoped to him that he would save us. For this is Hashem to whom we hoped. Let us exalt and be glad in his salvation. For the hand of Hashem will descend upon this mountain, and Moab will be crushed in its place, as straw is crushed in a dung heap. And he will stretch out his hand in its midst as a swimmer stretches out to swim, and he will put down its pride with its places of ambush. And the stronghold of your powerful walls he will topple. He will lower. It will reach the ground until the dust. Isaiah 26. On that day, this song will be sung in the land of Judah, the city that is a stronghold for us. He will grant salvation to its high walls and outer wall. Open the gates so the righteous nation, keeper of the faith, may enter. The being that relied on you, protect him with peace, peace. For in you did he trust. Trust in Hashem forever. For in God, Hashem is the strength of the worlds. For he has brought down those who dwell on high, in an exalted city. He has lowered it. He has lowered it into the ground. He has brought it down to the dust. It is trampled underfoot. The feet of the poor, the souls of the meek. The way of uprightness is for the righteous. O upright one, straighten the circuit of the righteous. Even on the path of your judgments, Hashem, we put our hopes in you. Your name and your mention, the yearning of our soul. My soul desired you during the night. As long as my spirit is within me, I seek you. For when your judgments are against the earth, the inhabitants of the world learn righteousness. Should grace be granted the wicked to one who did not learn righteousness? He acts with corruption in the land of the upright, and does not see the exaltedness of Hashem. Hashem, when your hand is raised, the wicked do not see it. May they see vengeance for your people and be ashamed, and also the fire that will consume your enemies. Hashem, arrange peace for us, even as you brought about whatever happened to us. Hashem, our God, lords other than you have ruled over us, but it is only you whose name we mention. They are dead, never to live, lifeless, never to arise. Therefore you punished and destroyed them, and eradicated any memory of them. You have added to the nation. Hashem, you have added to the nation, and you have been honored. You rejected all the ends of the earth. Hashem, in their trouble, they turned to you. They poured out their silent prayer when you reproached them. Like a pregnant woman about to give birth, she is in travail, she screams in her pains. So were we before you, Hashem. We have conceived and gone into travail, as if we had borne wind. Salvations were not performed in the land, and the wicked who dwell on the world did not fall. May your dead come to life. May my corpse arise. Awake and shout for joy, you who dwell in the dust. For your dew is like the dew that revives vegetation. May you topple the lifeless wicked to the ground. Go, my people. Enter your chambers and close your door behind you. Hide for a brief moment until the wrath has passed. For behold, Hashem is going forth from his place to bring punishment for the sin of the inhabitant of the land upon him. And the land will reveal its blood, and no longer cover over its slain.